Introductions, Definitions, and Methodologies. The year is 2005. I walk into my first History of American Burlesque class in the drama department at New York University, take one look around the room of fresh faces, and blurt out, "Let's do a show." It seemed logical. Neo-Burlesque had been growing in popularity, and there was a vital scene of regular shows popping up all over New York City theaters, nightclubs, and bars. The emerging neo-burlesque scene was aglow with vitality and experimentation, and I was lucky to be there, watching from the audience, performing from the stage, and discussing it in the classroom. For not only am I a scholar of burlesque, I'm also a practitioner. I see the value of having students do the thing that they are studying. That said, I made the performance optional, since assigning striptease for credit could be misinterpreted at best. If the topic of the course had been clowning or public speaking or Shakespeare, having students perform as a part of their coursework would not be controversial. But burlesque elicits a range of responses and emotions. It is charged and electric and largely misunderstood. I knew I was transgressing a lot of boundaries. I also knew that burlesque could provide students a kind of freedom. For that first student showcase, I used my performance experience to book a show and all that entails, and help students develop their own acts, from concept to character to costume to choreography, that they would perform in front of a crowd of adoring friends and future fans. I felt confident that burlesque would allow the student practitioners to control their image, their bodies, and their stories they told on stage. Some performed historic monologues, others created Candy Butcher-inspired comedy routines, but most stripped. Performing burlesque helped concretize the course material. Students also gained increased appreciation for the nuances that go into polished burlesque performances. Yes, everyone takes their clothes off every day, but doing so in an entertaining or thought-provoking way is another matter. Perhaps even more significant, students experienced being fully in control of what they put on stage, as opposed to traditional theater where actors become the character in a play written by someone else. Neo-Burlesque is all about self-authorship. The student performers came off the stage radiant, alive, and buzzing with the freedom of bringing to life their wildest imaginings. That self-authorship is liberating, as stripping is, literally about transformation. And, as this book hopes to prove, striptease has the power to transform. The new, or neo-burlesque movement emerged in the mid-1990s, largely as an underground performance art movement that has since grown in popularity and presence around the globe. Neo-burlesque references burlesque of the 1940s through 1960s, often referred to as the bump and grind era or the golden era of burlesque, while recontextualizing it with modern themes. Most neo-burlesque acts last the duration of a song or two, though this varies greatly by regional standards and performer preference, and feature performers either undressing or dressing, referred to as a reverse striptease, that borrows from a variety of art forms, including dance, acting, clowning, and prop work to tell a story. Often the story being told has a punchline or political message, though that's not always or necessarily the case. The short vignette performances that comprise neo-burlesque shows are highly theatrical and exuberant, with the flamboyant and excessive theatrical dressing encompassing costuming, makeup, wigs, sets, physicality, and an irreverent attitude and stance towards social norms. Exaggerated presentation in burlesque is not mere window dressing. Instead, it is an integral component of burlesque's ethos and its power to infect. Camp, so central to this exaggerated presentation of self, is employed as an aesthetic force and as a political tool. Claire Nally aligns burlesque performance with camp with a heavy criticism of heteronormative genders and ultimately with the queering of identities. Central to this camping includes an over-theatrical presentation of femininity, which allows the burlesque performer to, as Catherine Roach puts it, disrupt norms of femininity by parodying them in her excess. Through this knowing wit, which scholars have identified as performers being aware of their own awarishness, burlesque has an uncanny power to upend striptease and even dismantle it from its historical and performative connotations. That awarishness serves as a reminder that burlesque performers are in the know, and that they refuse to avert their gaze or back down or out of the spotlight.